making her the first athlete since Michael Jordan to get their own signature basketball from Wilson. She also becomes the first WNBA player to get her own signature basketball.
The WNBA is buzzing with excitement, and for good reason. Caitlin Clark has just cemented her status as a once-in-a-century talent. She's now the first athlete since Michael Jordan, yes, ** Michael Jordan, to get her own signature basketball shoe. This is a huge milestone, putting her in the company of the most iconic and influential athlete of all time.
Caitlin Clark just did something that no athlete has done since Michael Jordan.
Caitlin? She's hit this incredible milestone in just a rookie year in the WNBA. Her influence goes far beyond basketball fans. She's making waves across the entire sports world.
It was like Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, probably eventually Caitlin Clark, where it's like individual people make an entire country tune into their sport.
1,000%.
Like hockey was never bigger than when Wayne Gretzky was playing it, and it was ridiculous how much it grew the sport.
Caitlin's talent is out of this world, on a level most players, like Angel Reese, can only aspire to. But can you really blame them? When you're this good, jealousy is just part of the deal. Haters come with the territory when you're not only dominating the game but also transforming the culture. Caitlin Clark isn't just an athlete, she's a movement, and whether they're fans or critics, everyone is glued to her every move.
To her and her family. Yeah, the crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played LSU, but she's
Caitlin Clark is revolutionizing women's basketball and the entire sports industry like never before. She's not just making history, she's completely rewriting it. In case you missed it, Clark has partnered with Wilson Sporting Goods to become the first athlete since Michael Jordan to have her own signature basketball collection. Yes, ** Michael Jordan. This is a game-changing moment that elevates Clark into a league of her own. But let's be clear, this isn't just about slapping her name on a basketball. This deal is a bold statement about power, progress, and the undeniable rise of women in sports. For years, women's basketball has been overlooked, underfunded, and undervalued. But Clark is tearing down those barriers like they never existed. Her deal with Wilson isn't just a personal milestone, it's a huge win for every female athlete striving for recognition. From her college days, Clark has been shattering records and dominating the court. Remember Pete Maravich's NCAA scoring record? She broke it. Led Iowa to major victories. Done. While others were trying to keep up, she was busy building a legacy. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's a trailblazer, a game changer, and proof that the future of sports is brighter than ever.
The Michael Jordan. I know you're not a major basketball
Him, I know.
but she is the Michael Jordan of female basketball.
First, comparing Caitlin Clark to Michael Jordan might sound like a stretch, but think again. Just as MJ turned basketball into a global sensation, Clark is reshaping the WNBA and women's sports as a whole. She's got the talent, the charisma, and most importantly, the ability to draw in audiences who never gave women's basketball a second thought before. Let's talk numbers. Games featuring Clark have seen viewership soar, tripling the WNBA average. National broadcasts are now pulling in 1.32 million viewers. For context, those are numbers that would make even the NBA take notice. Clark isn't just filling seats, she's packing entire arenas. Her team, the Indiana Fever, smashed attendance records this season with over 340,000 fans. That's not a coincidence, it's a movement. And it doesn't stop there. The WNBA's digital presence has exploded. In just the first week of the season, the league's social media platforms hit 157 million video views, a staggering 380% jump from last year. At the center of all this buzz, Caitlin Clark. She's not just playing the game, she's leading the conversation, driving the clicks, and igniting the engagement.
Caitlin Clark was marketable, but she's been put over some pretty big names. In fact, some worldwide, huge, international names. Two of them being Messi and...
Economically, Caitlin Clark is a one-woman gold mine. The WNBA's merchandise store has shattered sales records, and Clark's jersey is leading the pack. Her impact is so massive that the Indiana Fever's merchandise sales skyrocketed by an unbelievable 1,193%. Yes, over 1,000% growth, all because of one rookie. That's not just marketability, that's a movement. And the sponsorships? They're flooding in. This year, the league's sponsor media value hit $136 million, and nearly half of that is directly tied to Clark and the Fever. She's redefining the game when it comes to brand partnerships, attracting major deals, and proving that investing in women's sports isn't just a noble cause, it's a smart business move.
Caitlin Clark on a worldwide marketability list for athletes to be ahead of both Messi and Ronaldo is quite impressive. I mean, she's ahead of Steph Curry. Steph Curry is behind her. Wait,
there's more. Caitlin Clark's influence isn't confined to the court, it's transforming the economy too. In Indianapolis alone, her impact is valued at $36 million, from ticket sales and merchandise to the ripple effects on local businesses. She's not just boosting the city's economy, she's revolutionizing it, and she's only getting started. Clark's rise isn't just about stats or records. It's a cultural reset. She's the blueprint for what women's basketball should be in the modern era: vibrant, impactful, and thriving. Every young athlete with big dreams looks at her and thinks, asterisk, that could be me, asterisk. Her influence goes beyond numbers. She's changed the narrative. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player, she's a revolution in motion. And the world took notice. In 2024, Time magazine named her Athlete of the Year, not Basketball Player of the Year, not Female Athlete of the Year, but Athlete of the Year. That's a title reserved for those who redefine the limits of what's possible, and Clark is doing just that. This isn't just a personal accolade, it's a global spotlight on her, and, by extension, on women's basketball. It's a moment so overdue it's almost embarrassing it took this long. But now that it's here, it's clear. Caitlin Clark is shaping the future.
And what a lot of people weren't willing or were a bit reluctant to appreciate was the game on this young white sister of ours. She can ball.
Caitlin Clark isn't just making waves on the court, she's stealing the spotlight off it too. Her appearance at the Time dinner in New York City wasn't just another event, it was a bold statement. She's not just a basketball star, she's a cultural icon, mingling with the world's most influential people and proving that athletes belong everywhere, from boardrooms to red carpets. Every move Clark makes outside of basketball is a giant leap forward for women in sports. Comparing her to Tiger Woods isn't a stretch, it's the truth. Just like Tiger turned golf into must-watch TV and transformed its economics, Clark is doing the same for women's basketball. She's changing the way people see the game, showing that it's not just worth watching, it's worth investing in, marketing, and even obsessing over. Very few athletes in history have had this kind of pull, but Clark is already in that rare league. She's more than just a great player. She's an extraordinary ambassador for the sport, redefining what's possible and inspiring a whole new generation.
A great ambassador for the game. And by the way, she came in there and looked out for everybody.
With great power comes, well, drama. Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise hasn't been without its challenges in the WNBA. Some veteran players aren't exactly thrilled with the spotlight she's soaking up. And honestly, can you blame them? Clark's instant stardom and multi-million-dollar deals have brought long-standing issues to the forefront: pay disparities, lack of recognition, and the ongoing fight for respect in women's basketball. Clark isn't causing the friction, she's exposing it. And now, the league is finally waking up. The WNBA recently invested $50 million to upgrade to charter flights and started working on a new collective bargaining agreement to raise players' salaries. But let's be real. This isn't about generosity, it's about survival. The league knows they got a once-in-a-generation player in Clark, and they're scrambling to keep up with the momentum she's created. It's about time. Still, let's not hand them too much credit for simply reacting to problems that have been glaringly obvious for years.
Long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they got to be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they got to be drama because they're...
Buzz surrounding Caitlin Clark has sparked serious talk of expansion for the WNBA, which has been long overdue. Her ability to fill arenas and draw in viewers has put this conversation in the spotlight. With more fans tuning in and showing up than ever before, the league is being forced to think bigger. Expansion isn't just an opportunity, it's a necessity. Clark has made it clear that the demand is there, so what's the holdup? And then there's her $28 million Nike deal. Let that sink in for a moment. This isn't just a paycheck, it's a statement. It's a game-changing deal that tells the world that female athletes are just as valuable as their male counterparts, if not more. Clark isn't just cashing in, she's raising the bar. Brands are finally realizing that investing in women's sports isn't risky, it's smart business. And Caitlin Clark, she's the jackpot.
Idea of some players being jealous? Yes, that probably exists. Okay. To me, yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you step foot in the pro?
The WNBA rides this wave of attention. The big question is whether they can keep up. Caitlin Clark has single-handedly put them in the spotlight, but maintaining that momentum is a whole different ballgame. The league can't afford to lose the momentum she's created. They need to expand, innovate, and capitalize on the energy she's brought in. This moment isn't just hers. It's theirs too, if they're smart enough to seize it. Caitlin Clark's career is just beginning, and the impact she's already made is nothing short of remarkable. She's not just breaking records, she's breaking barriers, redefining what's possible, and setting a new standard for women's basketball. The real challenge isn't whether she can keep up the pace, it's whether the league and the sport can rise to meet her level. One thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark isn't here to play by anyone's rules, she's here to rewrite them.